many of you have sent me this story, and you all want my opinion on it, so I'm going to give it to you. But literally, I want to thank at least 100 people who sent this story in over the last 3 or 4 days. And, you know, I have to give the people what they want. Sometimes I look at a story and I say, isn't it obvious what I'm going to say? But apparently, there are sometimes people just want to hear me rant about something. They know I'm going to rant about it. So, okay. Dateline Chicago. An energy magnate's estranged wife was awarded $184 million. What appears to be one of the biggest divorce verdicts in U.S. history. Citing irreconcilable differences, Maya Polsky, a 55-year-old homemaker and art gallery owner, filed for divorce from her husband, Michael Polsky, in 2003. Judge William Boyd had ruled in October that Maya Polsky was entitled to half of the Chicago couple's cash and assets, with her share valued at $176 million. On Monday, the judge amended his decision to include previously omitted assets that increased the value of her award to $184 million. Maya Polsky's attorney, Howard Rosenfeld, said more than $170 million of the award is non-taxable cash. He said that in researching the case, he could find nothing in which a homemaker wife received such a significant award. Rosenfeld said, she's very much satisfied with the court's decision. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I thought maybe she was going to appeal and say that she deserved $300 million. Says here she thinks she was fairly treated by the court. The couple married in 1975 in Kiev in the Ukraine, and then it was part of the Soviet Union. They arrived in the United States in 1976 with only 4 suitcases and $500 in cash, according to court records. In 1980, they moved from Detroit to Chicago, where Michael Polsky found success in the energy business. Judges in Illinois have some leeway in determining how to split marital assets. Rosenfeld successfully argued that Maya Polsky was her 57-year-old husband's trusted confidant and therefore entitled to half the estate. Now listen to this. In court filings, this is what the attorney wrote about his client, Maya Polsky. He said they would walk together after dinners. And Michael would share details of his work, looking for empathy, advice, or merely an open ear. For many years, their marital partnership flourished. Michael provided sustenance and security. Maya provided love, support, advice, and counsel. What did she know about the energy business? She was a housewife. What kind of advice could she be offering? You got to be kidding me. He confided in her because he was her husband. Was she a business consultant? Did she have a business degree? Did she have a background in this area? I'll bet you in the course of time he had accountants and attorneys and people who had an education in the business of running a business who knew a lot more than Maya Polsky knew. They didn't get that kind of money. They listened to him also. They didn't walk hand in hand with him after dinner, but they listened to him and they advised him, and they knew what they were talking about. But she gets half of all the money. Michael Polsky's attorneys contended that he was responsible for the couple's great wealth and said he will likely appeal the decision. Attorney Joseph Teig said he intends to test this decision on appeal because he's always believed that this shouldn't have been a 50-50 split. Again, let's review. There are states that have what's called community property. Illinois is not one of them. The judge decided that it should be split 50-50, but that's not necessarily the law. The judge could say 60-40 or 75-25 if he so chose. Says here, David Meyer, a law professor at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, said the Polsky case is, quote, remarkable and historic because of the size of the award and Boyd's decision to split the estate equally. Meyer said those are huge numbers. When you get these cases of extraordinary wealth, it really puts to the test this notion of marriage as a complete partnership. Gaetano Ferro, president of the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers, said he wasn't aware of a bigger award in the United States. Michael Polsky launched the company that would eventually become Northbrook-based Skygen Energy, a leading independent power producer that sold in the year 2000 for about $450 million. He is now president and CEO of a company called Invenergy. Invenergy Wind, LLC, a Chicago-based wind energy company. Look, I think that's an outrageous sum. But I do think that in this country, you pretty much know that when you get married without a prenup, boys, that you're going to give up half of everything you've earned. And here's an example of what I tell you all the time. All the time. 50-50. Now, you know all you people who call up here and I ask, why don't you have a prenup? And you say, because I don't have anything. These people had nothing. When they got married, they had nothing. But just because you have nothing today doesn't mean you'll have nothing forever. Someday you might have something, and you might want it protected. You can't get married without a prenup. You can't. But this story is another example of why guys should not get married. You know, if Maya Polsky was the girlfriend rather than the wife, they could take walks after dinner, they could have conversations, they could confide in each other. But then, when the relationship was over, he wouldn't have to pay $184 million. So this is definitely a very clear example of a case where if this guy hadn't gotten married, or if he had insisted upon a prenuptial agreement to protect himself, he wouldn't be in the shape he's in today. It's hard to say don't split the stuff in half. I got to be honest with you. It's hard to say don't split the stuff in half because that's pretty much the way the law works in this country, is that if you're married and you've got no prenup, that they split it in half. That's what they do. If you don't want your stuff split in half, don't get married or insist upon a prenup that says, you take what you brought into the marriage. That's what you take. And if you earned anything during the marriage, whoever earned it keeps it. Or if a woman wants to be compensated for the years she spends with a man, have her put it in writing at the beginning. How much do you want? How much are you entitled to? Maybe if this guy saw how much it would cost to have a wife, maybe he would have said no thanks. What's your reaction to this?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
That's a good slogan for our show. Better than a fatal accident.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Tonight, we're talking about that amazing $184 million. 180, you hearing me? $184 million divorce judgment in Chicago. What do you think about that? Let's say hello here to Aaron on the Tom Leykis Show. Aaron?
Yeah, Tom.
You busy over there?
Nope.
All right, let me get my calendar out here. When would you like to start talking? We'll make an appointment.
Oh, sorry, Tom. It must have been, I don't know, lost you in some static. I just want to say I'm a long-time listener, big fan. I think one of the reasons guys make this decision is because they don't want to admit that it could be wrong. It's not always a logically based decision. It's an emotionally based decision. And men are usually more logical than women, and because they fail to make that connection, they try to use logic to make their decision about the prenup. And obviously you pointed the hole in that logic very easily just now. And obviously I hear you all the time talking about how divorce numbers are up and the different ways you cross-reference divorce statistics, and they're very enlightening and very intelligent ways to look at it. But guys themselves don't want to admit that they're part of that standard divorce number. And it's not, like I say, it might not be the deepest logically based decision, but they try to commit logic wherever they can, and marriage is just, it's a very hard thing to go into it saying that there's a possibility for failure, because that's kind of like
if there was a 45% chance that you would have a head-on collision in your car, would you drive today?
No. No, I wouldn't.
If there was a 45% chance that you would be murdered walking down a particular street, would you walk down a different street?
Yeah, statistically, you're perfect. That's why I'm such a huge fan of you and your show. You help guys out, and yeah, I think things have been slanted for way too long. And I agree with you 100% on your statistics, and I just appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, Aaron.
Hey, Tom. I was just wanting to mention something. I know you're an atheist. I'm a big fan of that aspect of your character, too, and that's why I'm also a huge fan of your show. I wanted to ask if you've ever heard of a book called God Is Not Great.
No.
I just read it. I lost a family member back in Michigan, and I spent a lot of time on an airplane, and I got through 8 chapters of this stuff. And I'm not a huge reader, and if you ever hear of it and you get a chance to pick it up, it makes all of the points that you make with such stunning wit and great intelligence, and I have no doubt you'd love this book. It's by a guy named Christopher Hitchens, and if you read it, I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe spent an hour just discussing some of the points they make in it about how religions are very outdated. And I think this plays into this stuff you're talking about right now, too. Marriage and divorce and marriage have to go hand in hand. People use it, once again, it's a faith-based decision to get married, and the way faith plays into that is often destructive. And the subtitle of the book is called How Religion Poisons Everything. And I know you're not far off about that sort of mentality. So if you get a chance, thanks for taking my call, and if you could blow me up, I'd be a happy, happy boy.
Of course I can. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Justin on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, first time, long time.
Cool.
Let's see. Well, what I was going to tell you is that I'm 24, and I started dating a girl back when I was 19. Wasn't listening to what you had to say, and I was with her for 4 years, and she basically never fessed up to the fact that she had an alcohol problem, and I just kind of dealt with it, being an idiot, and eventually I just kind of had enough of it, listening to you every day at work and stuff just kind of worked on me. So I finally kicked that bitch to the curb, and it was kind of like a little miniature divorce. Things were split up, and she took some of the DVDs and some of the furniture and whatnot, and she wanted me to pay her for the TV that we both went in on, and instead I just gave it to her and let her deal with trying to sell it to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend never paid her for it, which I kind of got a good laugh out of that. But that was enough for me to know that I am never, ever, if I ever get married, I'm going to do it, and it's going to have to be with a prenup.
And why even do it?
Well, exactly. I mean, I've thought of that too, but kind of down in the deep recesses of my brain, I think I might want kids, but with the way things are going in the world, I'm kind of doubting that.
I completely understand, Justin. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello to Italo on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how's it going? Before I get started, I just want to let you know you popped my
live radio phone call, Cherry, so I hope you're proud.
Wow.
Anyways.
Well, don't worry, it won't hurt a bit.
I believe you said he got married in the Ukraine, right, in the 70s?
Yes.
Okay, now would that even be valid? Did they even have prenups then, and would it be valid here in the United States?
That's an attorney question. I don't know the answer to that. As far as where they got married, that has nothing to do with divorce settlement or a divorce judgment. What matters is where you get divorced.
Oh, okay. I mean, I just think unless her name was on that paycheck as well, she doesn't deserve any part of it.
Well, I agree, but again, unfortunately, the law says that essentially you guys have combined your assets. Once you get married, you've merged two companies is what you've done.
And that sucks.
Well, but I think a lot of people, when they get married, they have this attitude. We hear from them all the time. They call in and they say, well, I'm not going to get a prenup. I'm not going to ask my girlfriend for a prenup because we don't have anything anyway. But then you hear a story like this where these two people had nothing when they got married.
Yeah.
And look at them now.
In a couple suitcases,
right?
Yeah.
And now look at them.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Can you take me out with the thank you, Jesus?
Of course I can.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you, Jesus.
It's Christian on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom.
Yes.
I was listening to you about the guy who got a divorce. Are we supposed to feel pity for a man that has $180 million in his bank account?
Well, as a man, your concern shouldn't necessarily be feeling sorry for that particular person. But your concern should be that no matter whether it's $184 million or $184,000 or whatever it is, if you get married without a prenuptial agreement, you're going to give away half of everything you have.
I understand that, and I see how that works. And
well, I don't think everybody. I don't think everybody understands that.
It just seems funny that.
By the way, in my view, I don't care. You know what? In my view, look, I'm a multimillionaire myself. That doesn't mean that the money is there to be given away to other people who didn't do anything to earn it.
No, true, but, you know, his wife was there for, what, 30 years?
Being there doesn't mean... So what? Plenty of people were there.
I just thought it was funny that $180 million was...
The fact that somebody...
kind of ridiculous. And what's she going to do with all that money?
Well, she's just taking it from him. That's what it's all about.
Sick.
Oh, that's what
can you take me out African tribal style?
Sure I can. I'm glad I didn't want to have a conversation. Every time I tried to say something, you just kept plowing ahead. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello to Ryan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, Tom. How's it going?
Great.
All right. Listened to your show for a while now. You're doing a great job there, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to let you know there's also a paperwork thing that you can get after you're done with all your prenups and everything, and you can actually get a post agreement after you're done being married, and said if you start to get a lot of money, you open up a business or whatever. Yeah, well,
here's the problem with those. There's not a lot of history with them. And we do not know how well they will stand up in court.
I was told by a prepaid legal service here that'll remain nameless here in Sacramento, they actually told me that stands up in court at just as much as a prenup. Well, I've never done that.
Yeah, well, you know, of course, prepaid legal service probably wants you to use their services. But what I have heard from top-notch, heavy-hitting divorce attorneys is that there's quite a history now with prenups, but not post-nuptial agreements. One thing about a prenuptial agreement is that you can't sign it under duress. But what's more duress than the fact that you're already locked into marriage with somebody and then they confront you with this piece of paper to sign?
Yeah.
So I'm dubious about post-nups, and I would certainly consult an attorney about it, but I'm dubious about them.
Well, what if you had a wife that doesn't really care? Well, maybe she does care, but doesn't let you know that she actually does care, that if you did sign the paper with her, that, what if she doesn't care that that you make all this money and she doesn't make this money, but you have her sign it anyway.
Well, I think the important thing is to get a prenup. I mean, why are people not getting prenups? It doesn't make any sense.
Because people are broke, brother. They're not making any money, and once they start making money, then I think it would be the appropriate time to...
Then believe me, you know what? What people don't understand, everyone's penny wise and found foolish. They don't realize that the $5,000 you spend on a good prenuptial agreement today is going to save you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars down the line.
Those are $5,000?
A good one, yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they're that expensive.
A good one, yes.
Wow. Maybe that's one of the reasons, too, because people don't have the money, so why are they going to spend $5,000?
I don't agree that they don't have the money. People waste money on all kinds of crap. I see people walking around with $500 PDAs and people who drive in cars with GPS in the car and everything. I mean, people have all kinds of gadgets. They spend all kinds of money. They've got $500 iPods.
Tijuana hookers. Well, I mean, that's just me, but...
if you can afford that stuff, you can afford a prenuptial agreement or don't get married.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very true.
If you can't afford something, don't buy it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people out there materialistic that way, and
well,
I just got married in July, and if I approached my wife with that, she would sign it no equivocation.
Then why didn't you do it before you got married?
You know what? I just never really thought about it. And I don't have a lot of money either. I'm making $50,000, $60,000 a year.
But you're using a prepaid legal service.
Yeah, that's in Sacramento here. That's about $30 a month.
All right, well, so you could have gone to them at least.
Yeah, that's true. I did think about it though. I was thinking about getting it done before we got married.
Thinking about doing something is in no way like doing something.
Yeah, that's true. But I was actually looking into those post agreements as well.
Well, you should look into that, but again, keep in mind that you might find a great attorney to do one for you that'll stand up, but I've been told by good divorce attorneys, not that they don't work, but that we don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I haven't really looked into it, so I don't know, but I thought I'd throw it out there to see what that would, what people thought about that.
Well, I'd look into it if I were you. I'll tell you that. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Jeff on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. It's Jeff. Love your show. Long-time listener. Quick question. Mine's kind of the other side of the coin there with the prenup. I signed a prenup with my wife before we got married. She was a practicing doctor, and now we're having problems. We do have 2 kids, and is it worth trying to get the prenup thrown out?
So, wait a minute, are you home taking care of the kids while she's a doctor?
No. She has shoulder practice, and I am at work. We've obviously taken a pretty huge pay cut as far as that goes. But
isn't it convenient that she did that about the time your marriage started going south?
Well, she did this a while ago. She stayed home to take care of the kids until they went to school. So
now you would get screwed.
Well, that's one of my questions is it worth pursuing the...
Well, I don't know what the prenup says. You really have to ask an attorney.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't read your prenup. And if I read it, I'm not an attorney.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy I'm a guy who's had experience with prenups because I've been married and divorced using prenups.
Okay. Are they worth... Or do they usually hold up in court as is?
I don't know about Nevada where you are. I know in California, I've been told by attorneys that they're holding up more and more, and it depends on the circumstances under which they were signed, whether they were signed under duress, if both sides were represented by legal counsel. This is another good question for an attorney.
Okay.
But, pal, don't cheap out. You shouldn't call a radio talk show for legal advice. You should hire an attorney and ask these questions.
All right.
I know you're trying to resist spending that money, but you really should do it.
Well, it's not a money thing. What it is, I guess it's a spite thing.
What's a spite thing?
Wanting to have that prenup thrown out.
You want to have it thrown out?
Yes.
For spite?
For spite.
Because why?
Why not?
So you just decided now that you hate your wife, and now you need to...
No.
Why do you feel spiteful against your wife? I don't understand.
I feel spiteful because she's going to take me to the cleaners with the 2 kids, and...
But did you already discuss divorce with her?
We've discussed it very limitedly.
No, you need an attorney.
Okay.
Got to get one.
Thanks, Tom.
Sooner than later, because who knows? She might file those papers. You won't even know they're coming.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
All right. He won't, but he should. But he won't.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
How much money does your husband make?
He makes $500,000 a year.
All right, so you are pretty attractive.
Yeah, I'm pretty attractive.
Yeah, you're really attractive.
Yeah, I'm really attractive.
The Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. And we're talking about that ridiculous $184 million divorce judgment out of Chicago. All the woman had to do was be there and have dinner with the guy, and after dinner, take walks, listen to him talk. Boom. It's Alan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Yep. Alan here.
Yes, I know. I just said that.
Is this Tom?
Did you want to talk to Tom?
Oh, don't do that whole thing with me. I know it's Tom.
Well, don't start with the speakerphone and all that stuff. Come on, we tell you not to use it.
No, you're not on speaker. You're not on speaker.
I was when we started, and that's why you're all confused.
Listen, Tom, I'm a first-time, long-time. I'm a fellow atheist. I'm a fellow King season ticket holder.
Yes.
And right now, your show is more relevant than ever for me. Really, thank you for doing what you do. I love your show, and I'm going to listen to it every day.
Good.
I've been married just under 10 years, and my wife decided that she'd rather be with her new boyfriend than try and work on our marriage. And so we're breaking up, like, immediately, and I do have a prenup. And I took it to a lawyer, and he said, yeah, it's very enforceable. Took it to a very good lawyer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And, at the time we did it, I said to her, if things never work out, I'd like to, I think we should have a prenup because you never know what might happen. And I never did ever want a divorce. And I still don't today, but it's happening to me, and I have to live with it. And I'm really glad I did that prenup. And one piece of advice I'd give to listeners is that if you do want a prenup, which, as you advise people to do, the way to probably do it is you don't want to spring it on them like after you're engaged or close to the wedding. A better idea probably would be to, like, when the relationship first starts developing, probably just kind of drop it as a hint and say, if I ever got married, I definitely would want a prenup because I think that's the fair way to...
Oh, I think that's definitely the way to go. But people don't do that because guys want to get laid, and they're afraid if they say that, they're not going to get laid.
Well, yeah, maybe I would say maybe after, like, a relationship develops more than, after maybe a month or two. And, if you think that marriage is an option in the future.
I think you have to already have gotten in her pants and already got into her consciousness.
Yep.
But not so much that she has got you in a situation where you're in love and you can't live without it. Now's the time to go in for the kill.
Yep. Yep. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't mean to go. I wouldn't consider it going in for the kill. I just said, look, if we ever do break up, which I hope will never happen, I think it's the fair thing to do. And she agreed with that at the time. Now, of course, she's saying, you forced me to sign it. That's not true.
Did she have an attorney?
She does.
Did she back then?
Yes, she did.
And the attorney read the agreement and negotiated with your attorney?
Yep.
Well, how could you force her to sign it?
Exactly. And it even stipulated in the prenup, it said something about, even though wedding invitations are already sent, I fully acknowledge that I am of sound mind and agree to this. It actually specifically said something about the wedding invitations.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really happy I have it because I'm pretty successful, and you know, it's like you say, it's a business arrangement. So this is just it's a business contract at this point.
Well, now you're seeing that the hard way. Of course, I'm sorry you have to see it the hard way. Keep in mind, I saw it the hard way too.
Yeah, 4 times, huh?
Yes.
Well, we have 2 kids, so we are going to be in each other's lives for a long time. So
just as long as you're sticking to giving her child support, and that's it. And who's going to have custody? Have you decided that?
We're gonna do half and half, and we're getting along very well, and we're trying to be strong for the children and just be good parents at this point and move our separate ways. I mean, it's very sad. I was deeply in love with my wife, and I am very, very hurt right now. And I know in time I'll feel a lot better, but I didn't see this coming at all. I mean,
how did you find out about it?
I wasn't even suspicious. I was looking at the phone bill because it was kind of excessively high, and I saw every night long calls to the same number for about a month, and I thought, uh-oh, because my wife's not the kind to yak on the phone with her girlfriends. So, I kind of knew that there was some guy in the picture, and so I asked her about it.
And she copped to it?
Not right away, but yeah, she did.
And how did she meet that guy?
Through a dance class. Dance class.
What kind of dancing?
Like partners dancing.
Yeah, and you couldn't or wouldn't go, and so she got passive-aggressive and decided to find another dance partner.
No, she never asked me to go. It wasn't something, I've never been interested in that kind of thing, and she never asked me to go. But what I knew when she went to that it was a sexually charged environment, that type of thing. I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I didn't want to be a controlling husband. I said, go, have fun. I trust you. I didn't even say I trust you, but I thought it, I really did.
I don't know why you trusted her. Who's she going to dance with?
Well, Tom, I'd hope all us guys out there would honor the guy code and not go after married chicks.
But guys don't do that. Guys do that you hear the guys call in here all the time. They do it to their own friends.
Yeah, see, that's wrong. That, what?
Yeah, but you see, all right, but you can't worry about things you can't control.
Yeah.
All right, and it's wrong, but it's the way it is. When a woman wants to go out to dance classes without you, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
It's a red flag because she's going to want to dance with somebody. Nobody takes dance lessons and then has no intention of dancing.
Well, what should I have done in that situation?
You have to ask her why she feels the need to go to a dance class.
It's something I love. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, but who are you going to dance with?
Another guy.
And another guy? And what do you think that guy wants?
Yeah, I started asking. I actually did. You know what? You're absolutely right. And I actually did have that conversation with her. And I said, guys only want one thing. And if they act like they don't, they're lying to you.
Right.
And she says, I know this. And she did know it.
So she was going because she was looking to meet a guy.
I don't know if I hear what you're saying. I know she does actually enjoy dancing. That is a big part of it.
Yeah, but part of dancing is having physical contact with another person.
Yeah.
People are not doing the Watusi in a dance class. You know what I'm talking about?
All right, so I'd love to know what I could have done differently. Should I have said...
I'm not saying you could have done something differently. What I'm saying is it's a red flag, and then you have to go into red flag mode at that time. And for me, red flag mode means... I'm on your phone bill. I'm on your computer.
Yeah.
I'm going through your email.
I wanted to respect her privacy.
Well, that's meow, meow, meow. You wanted to respect her privacy.
Yeah.
You're married. You're not supposed to have privacy.
That's true. I agree. I mean, we're supposed to be a team.
This is why I think marriage is a joke, because nowadays it's too easy, especially for women, to cheat. It's too easy.
So what? So now I'm now single for the first time in 12 years, and that's why, like I said earlier, I'm going to be listening to your show quite a bit and try and learn from you. I don't know if I don't want to say. I do actually like talking to women too, but I am going to use some of your techniques the best I can.
I think you're going to have to.
Yeah. So we have 2 kids, and I'm 38, and I have a different phase of my life to walk into right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
We'll see what happens.
You actually met my wife once. It was 3 years ago. We were at the Beverly Hills Country Club, the tennis one, and there was some wine tasting party. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, my wife was pregnant at the time, and I told you I was a fan, and I said, "Look how beautiful my wife is. See, not all pregnant women are unattractive." And you said, and you just nicely shook her hand and met her.
It's my gig. I meet 500 people a day.
Yep. Well, thank you for everything you do, and you now have a newly loyal fan, just a renewed fan base from me.
Well, thank you for that, Alan. Now everybody knows I'm at the Beverly Hills Country Club. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Valerie on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Valerie.
I love you.
Well, thank you.
I love you all the time when I pick my kids up from school. I just wanted to say, I feel like women do deserve half if they end up divorced. Like in my case, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I work really hard, and I don't get paid, but my husband works hard and I work hard. I take my practice, do homework with him. My daughter gets up every morning at 6:30, and I feel like if he were to leave me or if we were to get divorced or anything happened, I do deserve, half, and I don't see why it sounds like you're so, women don't deserve that. And maybe
I think it depends on how much money there is. I think $184 million is excessive.
That's true. That's true. But nothing makes me more angry when people insinuate, oh, you stay home, what you do all day, or like you don't work, you must just have all this free time.
Oh, no, I know it's very hard work. The reason, by the way, may I say, the reason I don't have children, is because I know how hard it is.
Well, and some women might not have gone to school or give up their career because both, him and her want children. And then if the husband wants divorce later, then I think in that case she should get half because she could have been working.
Well, I still think, though, that people should have they should have a conversation about how much money that's worth before they get married.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know what? You should have said to your husband, you know what? I want to put this down in writing because I think I'm worth $30,000 a year or $40,000 a year, or here's what I would be making if I was working. So if you want me to stay home and take care of the kids, here's how much I want.
Well, anyone that gets married doesn't really think they're going to get divorced, so I guess they're not thinking in that, that mindset. But you're right.
I don't know why they think that. As I always say on this show, what are the odds you'll have a car accident?
Yeah.
What are the odds?
What is it? I don't know.
When's the last time you had one?
Never.
Never. You've been driving for how many years?
15.
280 days a year, probably, every weekday.
Yeah.
Okay. Times 15.
Yep.
That's 4,200 days without an accident. Let's say it's 4,200 to 1. But you have car insurance, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the odds of your marriage ending are 1 in 2.
Right.
Why would you have a prenup?
Yeah, that's a good point. But I'm just, speaking up for all of those women out there, like we quote unquote do nothing. That's why I had to call and I know you haven't exactly said it like that, but I'm just saying it is insinuating.
I don't, but I'm not insinuating that. I know you're not doing nothing, but if what you're doing is you're childless and what you're doing is you're having walks after dinner and he's telling you about his business, I don't think that's worth $184 million. I just don't.
I hear you there. I do.
All right.
I agree with that.
All right. Thank you, dear. Appreciate the call. Our email address is my name. It's tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.